Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Aries, November 14, 2022. You may not view things the same way with a partner or friend today, as a Venus-Mars transit temporarily magnifies differences. Old issues you thought you had buried might emerge and occupy your mind. There can be a feeling of being out of sync, and it can be hard to go after what you want, either because you're uncertain about your desires or because circumstances seem to prevent a clear-cut and direct path to your goals. It's best to avoid pushing things. Instead, find ways to make adjustments and seek to create your own happiness. Later today, your exchanges can be more fruitful and nurturing. There is a stronger emphasis on the intellectual side of your relationships. Lie low today. Dark energy is emerging and could be rising up from behind the scenes. As the mighty sun, our great luminary, spins in the skies of your solar 12th house, he will become punished by icy Saturn now in your solar 3rd house of ideas. This reveals that extremely bad news could emerge out in the open, perhaps related to a secret, scandal, affair, or other hidden matter. Enemies may have it out for you, ready to tear you down, especially in regard to your personal or romantic life. Do your best to lie low and not rock the boat. Get out of your head. Typically, you are a jubilant zodiac sign that rarely feels down about your next professional opportunity. However, you might feel initially strained when the Sun in Scorpio squares Saturn in Aquarius. Instead of going down a mental rabbit hole of what-ifs and could-bes, the square could bring you the strength to speak up. You have the authority to change the tune of your work life. Be confident bringing up your unique perspective and unusual ideas to your coworkers in conversation during today's square. It was earlier in the week that, as an eclipsing full moon, the moon gave Pluto and income matters a boost. Today the focus shifts to the other side of the financial fence, and with equally positive implications. The moon's return to your financial sector today is an ordinary monthly visit, but it comes in time to catch and participate in the support growing between the planets of money, luck, dreams, and smart thinking. Watch what you say this week. There is a tendency to blurt out the first thing that comes to mind with the aspect of the day. However, in no way does this mean you should curtail your thoughts. You may have a very creative mental state this week, and you are encouraged to write down your thoughts and feelings for future reference. To limit your reaction to what other people may say and do, exercise frequently. This promotes a naturally mellow state. Expect to be quite attuned to your spiritual and emotional self today. It's an 12-day, and this brings an enhanced state of awareness to you. This can be particularly helpful when it comes to determining how you feel about others and what they present to you as truth. Allow your inner voice to speak freely today to gain greater insight. If you engage in any psychic activity, such as readings, this is an excellent vibration for this. Be sure to take time to work on your journal today, as this focus will bring an even stronger connection. The moon's return to your relationship sector each month is always a valuable chance to become more emotionally engaged, with its friendly aspect to Saturn in your communication sector yesterday already offering a chance to give this a voice. Yet it is in the moon's final hours before leaving your relationship sector today that the most insight can be gained, and especially into the impact from Mars' retrograde turn. As the moon aligns, your emotional and passionate responses will give you a better sense of what the warrior planet is encouraging you to revisit. Before leaving your relationship sector today, and after a friendly aspect to Saturn in your communication sector yesterday, the moon will align with Mars for the first time since his retrograde turn here. Mars and Saturn will come together later in the month, but for now, this leaves you more emotionally engaged and better able to give your emotional responses, relationships, the past, and unsaid words a voice. Our eyes in the sky. Saturn squares the Sun early this morning, and will have a greater sense of responsibility, duty, and structure. Attention will be focused on doing the most practical thing and whatever makes the most sense. Our emotional nature will ease into a more intense vibe. We could withdraw from socializing with loved ones and acquaintances. It can be harder to hold conversations under this influence, and avoiding important talks could lead to arguments. You will make a terrific new friend related to your job in some way. This valuable resource will be more important to you than you realize. This person is a little strange and awkward, but overall, he or she has valuable information that you can benefit from. What makes this a potential game changer and an opportunity for a major breakthrough for both you and your relationships is that this is the first total lunar eclipse in Taurus in 2 decades. What adds to this is the fact that the lunar eclipse peaks just as the moon aligns with Uranus, the planet of surprise, synchronicity, and the unexpected, and as the Sun and Mercury, the planet of communication, are aligned in your relationship sector. This is the right trigger at the right time. Someone you work with will unexpectedly need your help. It is not necessary for you to completely drop everything for this person, but you should indeed try to help him or her. Work together and you will reach great success. Someone will pick you up and take you under his or her wing. This extra support will be of great benefit to you now. Don't resist this assistance. This boost is the exact key that you are looking for. Together you can soar to new heights. Protect your energy if you have to at this time. Be aware of your perspective amid other opinions. During this transit, we could be more likely to sacrifice our own needs and let people push their agendas on us. Focus on yourself to avoid uncomfortable moments with others at this time. Just after midnight, the Sun squares off with Saturn in Aquarius, putting us in a heavy headspace. We feel restricted, unable to act the way we want to. While the Sun is in Scorpio, all our desires and passions come into sharp relief. Yet, Saturn reminds us that we have obligations to others. It is not always about us, and we must work to earn our keep. It can also seem as though we are up against the clock now. Deadlines or time limits provoke extra stress, and instead of rising to the task, we look for vices to distract us. We are not above creating chaos, pulling the fire alarm to get out of taking the exam, so to speak. But our duties aren't going away. If we rise to the occasion, we can exit this period with a feeling of accomplishment. If we avoid our responsibilities, they will only catch up with us at a later date. This is something that at this time of year can energize both sides of the financial fence and act as a trigger. However, both sides are so ripe with potential and support, it was only ever going to take the smallest trigger, and this is the granddaddy of them all. This could have unexpected implications across the income, work, and career fronts, while a real breakthrough is possible on both sides of the financial fence. It is in the second half of the week that things will start to settle. Following this, the Gemini moon squares off with Neptune in Pisces, causing us to misread interactions and deceive ourselves. Our idealistic nature can be taken advantage of by those who sense our confusion and vulnerability. Yet, we are typically the ones who volunteer ourselves for disappointment by putting our trust in the wrong people. Exercise discernment to avoid compromising yourself.